Chapter 12. Subjective Control. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention. Attention may be either attracted from without or directed from within. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with the external impressions of the immediate present. The lines of this page are attracting your attention from without. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, but is constantly, It is obvious that in the objective world, your attention is not only attracted by, but is constantly directed to external impressions. But your control is a subjective state, is almost non-existent. For in this state, attention is usually the servant and not the master, the passenger and not the navigator of your world. There is an enormous difference between attention directed objectively and attention directed subjectively, and the capacity to change your future depends on the latter. When you're able to control the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you can modify or alter your life as you please. But this control cannot be achieved if you allow your attention to be attracted constantly from without. So each day, set yourself the task of deliberately withdrawing your attention from the objective world and focusing it subjectively. In other words, concentrate on those thoughts or moods which you deliberately determine. Then those things that now restrict you will fade and drop away. The day you achieve control of the movements of your attention in the subjective world, you are master of your fate. You will no longer accept the dominance of outside conditions or circumstances. You will not accept life on the basis of the world without. So having achieved control of the movements of your attention, and having discovered the mystery hid from the ages, that Christ in you is your imagination, you will assert the supremacy of imagination and put all things in subjection to it. End of chapter 12. So Neville here admonishes us to every day making sure that we are focusing on things as we want them to be and not just being distracted by things as they are. And this can sometimes take practice, especially when you first learn to control your mind and control your thoughts. And it was a big shock to me when I realized that I had control of my thoughts, that my thoughts were not just these powerful forces that I had no power over, that would just come in my mind, but I could stop them. I could choose which ones I wanted to think over and over again. I could get rid of some. I could have some go away quickly. That just made me realize how powerful I am. And this takes practice in the beginning, but eventually it starts to become easy. It's a bit like training a puppy or training a horse. When you first start, it can feel a bit difficult, but eventually the habits start sticking. And it's the same with training our mind and training our focus. So you want to do this because what you focus on grows. And if you're always focusing on the outside circumstances, if every time something happens to you on the outside, you focus on it too much, you spend all your time on it, thinking about it, thinking about what they said, what they did, how this went, and blah blah blah, you're going to be recreating the same circumstances over and over again. But if you become the owner of, if you take ownership of your thoughts and of how you're focusing your mind, what the things that you're focusing on, if you take ownership of that, then that means that you're going to be someone that's so powerful that you will make every obstacle in front of you crumble just by you taking your attention away from it and focusing on what it is that you actually prefer. So use your imagination to focus on the things that you want, and use your imagination to pay attention to where your mind is going, and pay attention to how you want your life to be. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next chapter.